Hey everyone, it's Tom here, and on this video I want to go back and have a look at what I would have done differently if I was starting to trade again. So I get asked this question occasionally from traders, what advice would you give to a trader starting off? I think the easiest way to kind of go through it and explain would be probably to look back and say the lessons I've learned over the years. If I had to start from scratch again, what would I do? Now, this might not work for every trader because there are plenty of different trading styles and also, different objectives of traders. So what you do as a trader should be fairly heavily influenced by, what you want to get out of trading. But there are going to be some general rules there. So I'm going to talk about things that I would focus on and also things that I would avoid. There were distractions to me as a trader when I started that, knowing now, I should have put them to one side. So yeah, let's get started. Just very quickly before we dive in, if you're still struggling with your trading, or you'd like to know more about how mechanical edges are traded, I've put together a free video course for you that will map out and explain everything in detail, along with walking you through exactly how the mechanical rules actually work. If you'd like to watch that after this video, I'll pop a link in the description. You can click through and you can watch that straight away. So the first thing I would want to do if I went back and started again as a trader is just to learn the basics before I try to make any money. And I want to tie this in with something that I remember struggling with, which is finding a suitable broker. And part of these areas is you can absorb so much content from YouTube, from books, from podcasts, etc., and all telling you different things. And they're all quite complex when you start as a trader. And you see the profits some traders make, and you think, right, I want to get straight into this. And it might sound obvious, you might think, well, yeah, obviously, Tom, we need to know the basics. But too many traders do jump straight in with live accounts and they just want to trade the market. What I would certainly do is to go back at the start. I would get myself just a demo. What I would even do really is just to load up, say, TradingView. It's not something I have to download. We don't have to sign up with a particular broker. And just to study basically what's going on the chart. The different market sectors, get an understanding for those, opening and closing times of sessions, what do the candlesticks mean, learn a bit of basic information about indicators. It can always help just in terms of discussions with other traders about what they're using, learn some of the advantages and disadvantages of using indicators, and just try and broaden that knowledge on kind of the surface level of trading to understand what a broker does, what's involved when we're looking at the charts, and how the markets work to an extent. We don't need to go into too much detail on this, but I wish I would have known that going back at the start before I started to just pick a random market. I can't exactly remember what my first trade was or my first market was. I'm sure it was on a forex trade, and I just jumped in, didn't use a strategy, and I just placed a trade because I thought, this looks like it could be going up. We were probably in the middle of an uptrend. I didn't have any stop losses placed, any take profits placed, none of that. So the basics there. Understanding how do you read and use a chart, not actually placing any trades with money, and understanding the different market sectors would be an area that I would always want to begin with. The second thing I would do if I went back and started my trading again is to get involved and discuss with other traders earlier. Now I know I've done a video on this recently to cover why I think trading or finding a trading mentor is important. But even if it's not a mentor, even if it's just a discussion with other traders, if they're at the same level as you, bouncing ideas off each other, getting a bit of experience there, it can't hurt, certainly. The advantages there are way, way bigger than the disadvantages. And for ages, for a couple of years really, I was just picking up scraps from other traders. I wasn't really involved. I didn't talk to anybody that traded in any detail. Certainly not at the level that would help me out. And I definitely suffered for that. I look back and I think I could have saved myself quite a lot of frustration from speaking to somebody that had been through what I was trying to go through, and just to get some advice there. So that would certainly be another area that I would focus on if I was starting to trade again. Another approach would be certainly to look at a strategy and find a style of trading that works around what I was doing. So when I started to trade, when I first jumped in, I was a student at uni, so I had a bit of time, wasn't completely free though. And I tried kind of shifting other things around so I could trade at weird times, and it was inconsistent. I sort of traded when I felt like it. Get a structure in place and find a trading style and approach that's going to work for you consistently. So finding some time that you can trade every day, even if it's only a small amount of time, The consistency is going to be better than anything else. So that was the key thing for me that I know I missed out on. And coming back to what I said a little earlier, finding somebody to tell me that as well would have been really helpful. But it just didn't click until a lot further down the line for me. I think, again, that would have saved me quite a bit of time. The next thing to mention, and it's something that I've mentioned on videos before in the past, and it's not an interesting part of trading by any stretch, but it's an important part, is keeping a journal, keeping a record of everything you do as a trader and reviewing it. I say this to our traders, even if I work with traders for years, and even if they've got quite a lot of experience, the amount of traders that don't journal, don't record anything, is pretty damning, really. And there's not 100% correlation between successful traders and traders that journal, but there's a strong correlation there. And if I'd go back to start my trading again, I would start from the very first trade that I would place to get a record of that. What did I do? What did I think I did well? What did I not do well? Where were my mistakes and things? And that certainly helps with things like back testing, gaining confidence through a strategy by testing it, plotting the results onto a journal, reviewing them, looking for improvements, all those areas. Journaling can help in so many ways. And once you get started with it, once you get the ball rolling, it's not difficult at all. It's just a tedious thing that you need to basically sit down and say to yourself, right, I'm going to journal now. Once you've made that decision, once you've started, it becomes easy. But so many traders put it off. And I did at the start as well. I probably didn't journal for the first 18 months of my trading. And again, would that have saved me a lot of heartache? Possibly. But now I couldn't trade without keeping a journal. Now, one distraction, or one area that I did focus on when I started to trade that I wish I hadn't in so much detail, was putting too much focus on the broker I was using. You can have some bad brokers, absolutely, and it's good to find one that you can trade with easily. But I was looking around for like small incremental differences in brokers that at that stage didn't affect me at all. You know, I was looking at who's got the tightest spread. Well, at this point, I should have been on a demo account, so the spread, although it matters, doesn't matter a huge amount at that point. And how many markets are accessible? Well, again, at that stage, I only wanted to trade the basic markets, so having 40,000 plus markets available just again wasn't really required for me at that point. As I said a little earlier in this video, you know, using something like just TradingView, you know, you don't have to download anything, it's easily accessible, it's a good platform as well, and there's all sorts of guides out there for TradingView. A shameless plug here, including the one that we've done on our channel. A platform like that is all you'll need at that stage. So going back, I wish I'd just started with that, spent less time trying out all sorts of brokers' demo accounts and just getting a little bit lost in that. The final thing I want to mention, and the kind of thing that I regret looking at the most, and some of you will be waiting for me to say this, I'm sure, it's focusing too much on the money and making a profit too early. Not seeing trading for the long-term objective that it needs to be seen as, you know. And, probably every new trader does this to an extent. You know, you get into trading because we want to make some money. That's obvious. You know, there's no point looking at other ways. I mean, yeah, you could say I would like some financial freedom, etc. You know, I don't have to work for somebody. I want to be my own boss, which is absolutely fine, and that's part of it. But it all comes down to, you know, we want to be making a fairly regular profit on our trades. And it's natural to get drawn into that immediately. Yeah, very easy for me to sit here and say, you know, don't focus on the money. But if I was going back, certainly I would have to kind of put that out of my mind, even for probably the first 6 to 12 months. If I was absolutely green, if I was going in with absolutely no trading knowledge whatsoever, that shouldn't be your focus in the first year. It should be understanding and learning all you can, and then putting that into practice once you're confident with how to use a broker, recording your trades, you know, a consistent strategy, a time of trading, etc. All of that should fall into place first before you even start thinking about making a consistent profit. So I'm hoping some of the points I've covered here in this video are going to help if you are just starting trading. Even if you've got a little bit of experience, hopefully some of that will resonate with you. And yeah, as I said at the start, you know, other traders will have different objectives if they went back and started again. But hopefully, I think I've covered the key points there. And honestly, they're the areas that I look back and I think, yep, everybody could have done better, everybody could have done it smoother when they start out, but they're the areas that I would really want to focus on. And they might not sound interesting, but hopefully taking it from the advice of somebody that's, you know, working with traders every day and seeing these areas crop up. It's not just from my experience, certainly I pick that out from other traders as well. If you're starting out, they're the areas to focus on. Thank you as always for watching though, guys. Hopefully that's been useful. If you'd like to find out more kind of about how we trade, how we help our traders out, there are links in the description. Just get a call booked in with one of our team. They can talk you through it in a lot more detail. Other than that, yeah, hope to see you on the next video. Take care.